everybody, this is Sabrina from ATLYS, and today I'm going to share with you the warm-up process I use every day for my bow. And I've come to call this the How Slow Can You Bow exercise, and it has changed my life. I'm gonna grab my clipboard to explain all the layers involved in this exercise. So let's get started. Okay, so I have made a list to give us some things to think about, and I divided this list up into, I think, different layers of depth. So starting with the most shallow layer, we can think of several things, such as contact point. That's where your bow glides between the bridge and the fingerboard. There's playing with a straight bow, so making sure that the bow stays parallel to the bridge. Even bow distribution from frog to tip. The different string levels for each string, so really starting to memorize that with your shoulder and arm and elbow. And also having smooth bow changes. Layer 2. This is, I think, once you've gotten a hang of those first few items, you can go a little bit deeper and think about keeping your bow hand very quiet and almost lazy. With every bow stroke, you feel like your bow hand is just melting onto the stick. It doesn't move at all. It just guides the bow. And secondly, that you want to release all of your arm weight into the bow. That's how you get that really full sound. It's not by pressing, and pressing would make a forced sound, so it's developing an open sound. And this is the third layer. It's as far as I'm going to go today, but it's definitely not the end of the journey. And I hope that as you do this exercise, you find the elements of your bow usage that are most important to you. But what I have here is that you can have this opportunity through this warm-up exercise to identify and then release tension. And the tension that you find might not be in your bow hand, arm, or shoulder. It might be in your knees or in your hips or even in your ankles. So as you do this exercise, I want you to feel mobility in all of your joints. Then the second thing is I want you to think about developing a sense of control for every millimeter of bow. Frog to tip, that you are in control, or maybe better choice of word is that there's no tension from frog to tip. You feel completely flexible and mobile at any point in the bow. And last thing I have here is to realize that by doing this exercise, even though the most prominent thing you're developing is a slow bow, I believe that this establishes a foundation for your sound in general. And any bow stroke that you use will stem from this comfort and control that you're developing for the slow bow. In other words, it's all here. This is basically, I mean, if you give some time to doing this every day, you will see an improvement. So let's get into the exercise itself. Okay, so now that I have my violin again, I just want to briefly demonstrate the points I just mentioned. So starting with contact point, that's choosing the spot for each string where the bow should glide. And for every string and for every instrument, every bow, it's going to be slightly different. And actually on your own instrument, it's going to be different from low to high. The lower strings usually have a contact point sweet spot farther from the bridge, and as you go up the strings, it gets closer. So that's something that you can explore in this exercise. Playing with a straight bow means keeping the bow parallel to the bridge the whole time. And it's actually kind of requires anything but a straight motion from your arm. It's all kinds of flexibility in your wrist and in the position of your upper arm as you transition from frog to tip. The best way to practice this is by looking in a mirror. I can do another video on this because straight bow is so important. Now, even distribution. For this exercise, we are going to use a metronome. And the metronome is going to help us track evenness. We're going to make sure we have the same number of clicks per segment of bow. And couple other things. String level is knowing exactly where your elbow lives for each string. And I did a video on this before that you can look up, but basically if you have your bow placed in the middle of the stick and you make a square with your arm, if the plane is flat across here and here, like an actual square, then that's the correct level of your elbow, and you keep it the same as you bow. When you go to a different string, you bring the whole square with you. And then the last thing to pay attention to, as I said, is really smooth bow changes at the frog and at the tip. And usually all it takes is releasing your hand, not tensing up at those moments, and listening for the smoothness. Okay? And as far as like the deeper layers, I think they are a little bit more like self-discovery and feeling, like making sure that you're paying attention to how it feels, not just how it looks and how it sounds. But it becomes a meditation, really, doing this exercise. I look forward to it every morning. It makes starting the practicing like a nice, gentle entrance into it. And I develop a really great sense of comfort with my instrument before I try to tackle anything that's more technically challenging. Okay, so the exercise itself. As I said, I have my metronome here. I'm gonna start with the click at 100. You can customize this if that feels too fast. Take it slower. This is extremely customizable. So with the click on, I'm gonna start by playing my G string, and I think I'm gonna start with 6 clicks per bow because for me, that's kind of my comfortable spot. Not too fast, not too slow. And I'm going to listen and feel how this is going. Is there bumpiness in the bow? Is there disruptions? We'll find out. No judging. Okay. And as I said, for the distribution, 6 is a little bit too much for me to divide my bow into equal 6s, but if I divide my bow in half and then think about thirds per half, that's gonna work for me better. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I hear like sort of a nasally sound coming, and I think that's because I'm getting too close to the bridge. And I also felt that my bow changes weren't that smooth. So these are things that I'm going to continue to try to release tension away and get deeper into the sound and listen for the overtones, all of that. So now let's imagine I did that longer. You should pause the video and do that longer. But now the actual exercise itself is to start adding 1 click per stroke. So I was on 6, and then I'm gonna go to 7, and then I'm gonna, on the up bow, go to 8. On the down bow, go to 9, and I usually go up until 16, but you are welcome to venture farther. And then once I get to 16, I come back and I decrease the number of clicks per bow by 1 until at the very end I challenge myself to see if I can do an entire bow in 1 click. Okay, so you ready to do this together? I'm going to turn on the metronome. I'm going to start at 6 clicks per bow, and I'm going to add 1 click until I get to 16. And then I'm going to come back and go all the way down to 1. We're going to see what happens. This is real life, no editing. Let's see. Ready, here we go.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Now I'm back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 1.
That was it. Great job. If you felt like you needed to live with one length of bow longer, do it longer. Do whatever you feel you need to gain comfort. I've been doing this exercise now. I kind of like made this up myself because I wanted to gain control, and I've been doing this for years now, and I'm able to kind of think about a lot of these elements all at once because I have thought so much about them individually. But do this exercise and only think about contact point. Do this exercise and really only focus on bow changes. You don't have to feel pressure to think about all of this at once. I'm just making one video. So use it and let yourself develop at your own rate. Thank you so much for practicing with me. And if you liked this content and found it helpful, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We post tutorials a lot, and we also have other fun stuff like music videos. So I'll see you around. Happy practicing.